Hello everyone and welcome to our 2-hour session MS 700 Managing Microsoft Team Practice Test. Thank you for attending this session. My name is Ayman Sheta. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer and I will be your host for this session. The main focus for this session is to prepare you for passing the Microsoft Team Administrator Associated Certification exam. Moving next to overview for Microsoft 365 certification. By taking the instructor-based course, which is a 4-day course, you will learn how to manage Microsoft Team in your organization. The main course covered Microsoft Team overview, implementing governance, security, and compliance, preparing the environment for Microsoft Team deployment, deploying team on managing collaboration and communication in Microsoft Team. In the Team Architect section, you will learn about integration between teams and various workload and service within Microsoft 365. Also, within the Security and Compliance Future section for Microsoft Team, it will be included condition access, multi-factor authentication, threat alert, DLP policy, eDiscovery, and information policy. Also, it will be included upgrading from Skype for Business to Microsoft Team, network setting, and managing team endpoint. Moving next to Microsoft 365 certification. One of the common questions we start with, why you are getting certified? We should know that earning a Microsoft certification is globally recognized and industry evidence of mastering real-world skills. It shows you can demonstrate professionally and keep with the technology. For example, people looking for sharpening or adding more skills, they can expect to be more productivity and efficient in their roles. IT professionals who have achieved a relevant or role-based technical certification perform an average of 26% better than uncertified colleague with the same responsibility. Upon earning this certification, 35% of the technical professional say getting certified lead to salary increase, and 26 report a job promotion. With many organizations move to the cloud, Microsoft 365 has become a very popular productivity suite for business of all the size. The service within Microsoft 365 included different type of application and service. For example, like Office application, like SharePoint and Exchange, alongside a range of enterprise service offered by Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 Business enabled employees to access, to store, to share file anywhere with up to 1 terabyte of storage per user. Let's start with the first certification, which is Microsoft 365 Modern Desktop Administrator Association, MD100 and MD101. This certification verifies the skills included deploying Windows, managing device, data and configuration connectivity, maintaining Windows, deploying and updating operating system, managing policy, protecting data and managing application. Candidates should be familiar with Microsoft 365 workload and proficiency in deploying and configuring and maintaining Windows 10 and non-Windows device and technology. You need to pass both exams to earn the Modern Desktop Administrator Associate certification. Moving to the next certification, Microsoft 365 Messaging Administrator Associate MS203. This certification is designated for IT worker responsible for deploying, configuring, managing, troubleshooting, and monitoring recipient permission and mail protection, mail flow on public folder, especially in a hybrid and cloud enterprise environment. Microsoft 365 messaging exam covers skills included your ability to manage organization setting and resource planning on managing your mail, architect, plan and implement hybrid configuration and migration, and creating a secure messaging environment. Next exam is Microsoft 365 Security Administrator Associate MS 500. This is a very nice exam for a security administrator, and this exam is designated to certify your skill for securing your Microsoft 365 enterprise and hybrid environment, also implementing and managing security and compliance solution, responding to different type of threat, enforcing data protection within your environment. And you have to pass the MS 500 to earn the security administrator exam. Next exam, Microsoft 365 Developer Associate MS 600. This certification is for developer responsible for designing, building, testing, and maintaining application. Different type of solution on Microsoft 365 platform. The MS 600 exam cover different type of topic, such as implementing Microsoft Identity, building apps with Microsoft Graph, extending and customizing SharePoint, and creating extension for Microsoft Teams and Office. Next, our session exam, which is Microsoft 365 Team Administrator Associate MS 700. This certification is for anyone responsible for configuring, deploying, and managing Microsoft 365 workload for Microsoft Team, especially those who are focused on implementing service for efficiency and effective collaboration. You will need to pass Managing Microsoft Team exam to earn this certification. Candidates should have a good experience with managing team setting using PowerShell, as you're going to have different type of PowerShell command question within the exam. Also, they should understand the basic of integration point with different service, and also experience with SharePoint, OneDrive for Business, Exchange, Microsoft Azure Active Directory, and Office 365 Group. Moving to another level of exam, which is the enterprise level, MS 365 Enterprise Administrator Expert, MS 100 and MS 101. This certification verify your ability to evaluate, plan, migrate, deploy, and manage Microsoft 365 service. This certification covers skills such as designing, implementing Microsoft 365 service, as well as your skill managing user identity, roles, access, authentication, security, governance, and compliance. It is the only expert level exam on this list. You will need to pass several exams to earn this certification. Moving to another level exam, which is a fundamental exam, mastering the basic, Microsoft 365 Fundamental MS 900. This certification, ladies and gentlemen, covers the basic of all Microsoft 365 cloud service and how they are different from their on-prem version. Within this exam module, which cover migration to Windows 10, Microsoft 365, security basing, and managing subscription service, and how to choose the right cloud deployment model. This exam also cover cloud concept, core Microsoft 365 service, and pricing and support. Moving next with an overview of Microsoft 365 Team Administrator Associated exam. This exam was updated last month, so please make sure that you download the skills measure document, which included the new point which cover within the new updated exam. Candidates for this exam are a Microsoft Team Administrator who manage Microsoft Team to facilitate efficiency and effective collaboration, as we covered before. Also, candidates for this exam must be able to plan, deploy, configuration, and secure Microsoft Team, chatting, and application and channel. So please make sure you download the needed document. Let's go through the skills measure within the MS 700 exam. The first section is plan and configuring Microsoft Team environment. It will be in a range between 35 to 40%. Next is managing chatting on team, on channel, and application, between 25 to 30%. Next, managing calling and meeting, between 15 to 20%. Monitoring and troubleshooting a Microsoft Team environment, between 10 to 15%. Moving next. By going through journey of team administrator, within this journey here, we're gonna go to understand what we should start. As we know, this certification is a good fit if you are administrator or if you are a IT professional who included such type of responsibility for a different activity, like for example planning, configuring Microsoft Team environment, managing chat and calling and meeting, and managing team application and policy. If this certification is not the right certification for you, you have the option to move to another certification, like for example fundamental certification, MS 900. Or you can change to another track, like Microsoft 365 track, by going through the exam as MS 100 or MS 101. Or you can go through modern desktop or security. By going through this or any of Microsoft 365 exam, ladies and gentlemen, we have two different ways to scale up your training. The first method is the self-service online learning. By going to Microsoft Learning, you're gonna find a lot of topic included within Microsoft Learning, so you can use it to learn and practice about the exam which you are looking for. Another topic is by going through instructor lead training, like the course MS 700 Managing Microsoft Team, which is a 4 days course. And all this, before you going through the exam, it would be a good idea if you can start taking your practice exam, which we're gonna go through some of the practice exam question at the end of this slide. After that, you are ready to earn your certification for MS 700 exam. Moving next to training preparation for Microsoft 365 Certified Team Administrator Associate, earning MS 700 exam. Please keep in mind the exam measure your ability to accomplish different type of technique or technical task, like for example, planning and configuring a Microsoft Team environment, managing chat, calling, meeting, and manage team and application policy. To start learning, as we cover, we have two different options. The first option is by going to an instructor-based track, which is a 4 days course. And within this course, most of the topic within Microsoft Team is designated for a person who would like to work as an admin role for Microsoft Team. Within this course also, which covers 6 center elements, for example, like Microsoft Team overview, implementing governance, security and compliance, preparing for environment, also deploying and managing Microsoft Team, managing collaboration and managing communication within Microsoft Team. And Microsoft Team overview, for example, you will get overview of Microsoft Team, included team architect and related Office 365 workload. Will be provided with overview of security and compliance also, which you can implement and configure within Microsoft Team. And in implementing governance and security compliance within Team, you're gonna plan and configure different type of policy. So please make sure that you understand, as you're gonna find different type of policy, expiration policy, like group naming policy. So it will be a good idea to go through all the policy. Another option for MS 700 exam is by going to Microsoft Learn. This is a new combination of learning platform, provide you a variety of ways to explore a new topic and to earn a new skill. Of course, you can have the option to learn in your time, manage your own time, and this is the main difference between instructor-based training and self-learning based. Also, whether you have a material to prepare for the exam, you're gonna find everything up to date within Microsoft Learning. So this is the only advance, is learning in your time, managing your own time. With Microsoft Document Platform, also you will find all learning resource and product documentation in one place. Moving next to Microsoft 700 Managing Microsoft Team exam page. As you get this page, the first point you're gonna see is that the exam is already updated last month, so please make sure you download the skills measure document just to get the right idea about whatever topic will be included within your exam. As you get into this page, please, the first section is to make sure that you are visiting the right exam page. Second, moving to the second point is selecting your country. Make sure you are selecting your right country, and we're gonna have a demo how to do that after we finish within the slide. After we finish from selecting your country, you can go down on the left side. You're gonna find schedule with Microsoft View link, which is the number 3, and within this link we're gonna start scheduling your exam. Moving next to your Microsoft profile. If it's the first time for you, you have to create your file from scratch. If you already have a profile, just make sure you have your data up to date, everything is fine. Please make sure you have the right legal name. The most important part, ladies and gentlemen, is the right legal name, as we can see here. And your legal name must match your passport or must match also any government ID, as you're gonna need such type of document whenever you plan for your exam. So you must have the same legal name. Also, you have to configure your address, your city, state, country, as Microsoft will send you the certification to your address. Also at the bottom here we can see we have to agree to the agreement on the different term of use on the privacy before we move to the next page. After we finish, we're gonna click continue and we're gonna move to the next page. Within the next page, sometime we're gonna get such type of error. As we can see within the red line here, we have such type of error. As we have such error, the only option we have is by clicking to his exam discount link, which we're gonna see it on the left toolbar. By going to the exam discount link, if there is any type of exam discount, you're gonna see here. If not, you have to click start scheduling your exam, which is gonna take you to the next page, which is selecting your test location. As we can see within selecting your exam option, ladies and gentlemen, we have different option here. We have the option to go through test center, or we can have the option to have the exam from home or office, or if you have a private access code. Of course, in our time, the most common used one is going through the exam from home or office. After we select this option here, by going to the bottom of the page, we're gonna have different option here to prepare for your exam. As we can see, we have the option to check different category within our system, or we can have the option to move next. Before you move next, please make sure you go through this prepare for exam option here just to test your environment. Let's go through one each time. The first one is testing your system, checking your computer by running system test. The second one is testing your space. Please make sure that your space is empty space. You are not allowed to have any type of box, paper, pen, any type of devices. Your phone is not allowed here. So make sure you have an empty testing space here. Also, I would like to give you an easy tip here. Please, if you are taking from home or from office, inform everyone within your office that you're gonna take exam. Any type of noise is not allowed. Also, let everyone know that no one is allowed to enter your room. Please make sure, inform your family, inform your colleague that no one should enter your room during the exam. Also, make it empty from everything. Books also is not allowed. Next is your photo ID. Check your photo ID. Your legal name must match with your profile. You should have a photo ID ready before the exam also. Next section, we're gonna have some information video, which is a short video which will give you some hint about what should you expect within the exam after you finish from going through this one here. And we're gonna go through this test together. When I start my demo, you can click next, which is gonna take you to the next page. Within the next page, we are going through the system check test. The first thing is, as we can see, was checking the microphone. Second, checking your internet speed. Third, checking your webcam. As you can see, we have a green sign here, but we have a red sign here and a green sign here, which means there is a problem with the internet speed. It will be a good idea to make sure whatever type of problem you have. Let me give you an example. Some of you are doing the exam on a laptop using a wireless connection. Sometimes the wireless connection is not enough to take your exam, so it will be a good idea to connect using a cable. This is some information or some troubleshooting step how you can speed up your internet speed. After you fix whatever problem you have with the internet speed, we can move to the next page, which is going to show you that your system check requirement has already completed and successfully completed, and you are ready to go, as you're going to have a green sign everywhere. I'm good. I'm done with the system check, so you can click next. As we can see, take me back to the same page, so I can click next now. I finish within the system test, so moving next will take us to the online exam policy agreement. As we can see, this is the Microsoft exam policy agreement. It will be a good idea to go through this agreement just to give you some information about the exam policy, and you have to accept the policy and you can click next after that. Moving next, we're gonna start selecting your proctor language, which mostly gonna be English, but in case you have another option like Japanese, you can pick one, but the default one is English. After you pick your language, you can click next, which is gonna take you to the next page. Within this page, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start selecting your appointment, selecting your date and time. As we can see, we're gonna have here start selecting your date. We have a different day here. You can pick whatever day you plan for, but please make sure you are on the right time zone. Please also, you configure your time zone within your profile, so you should make sure that the time zone which you can see it here is the same time zone which you configure already in your profile. One of the common mistakes that people mix between the time zones. So he have different time zone in his profile than the one he can see it here. Moving down, as you pick your day, you're gonna have a morning schedule and afternoon schedule. Pick whatever schedule you have. After you click whatever appointment you would like to go through or start time, you can click next. By going to the next page, and this is, we're going to review your order and start the checkout process. Please make sure that you have the right exam. Make sure you have the right exam here, and the language will be English. This is the exam length, as we can see, 150 minutes. This is your appointment. Go through your appointment just to make sure you are going through the right appointment. The date, as we can see, is the check-in time and the start-up time. As we can see, the start-up time and the difference between check time. It would be a good idea to log in 30 minutes before, as we can see within the schedule. If you would like to change, you have the option to change your appointment here, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to change your appointment, you have the option to change your appointment to come here. But the main point which I would like to make sure that we understand, that check-in should be half an hour before your exam. Also, we have another available product which you can add to your chart. For example, we have Microsoft Official Practice Test, which you can add it for 30 days, the cost of $99. Also, we have another exam which is Practice Test for MTA exam, 90H-XXX exam. It's for $75 for 30 days also. And at the bottom of the page, you're gonna find the contact information. Make sure, go through the contact information, make sure you have the right name, the legal address, and the legal name, and everything is up to date before you click process to check out. As we move to the next page, this is to review your exam rescheduling and cancellation policy. Please try to understand such type of policy. Just maybe in case you need to cancel your exam, or maybe you need something happen, you need to reschedule your exam. Please keep in mind, if you would like to reschedule your exam, the policy, it should be, according to Microsoft policy, it should be 24 hours before the exam. So it will be a good idea to understand, just to get idea about such type of policy before you click accept, which is going to take you to the next page. This is the payment page, ladies and gentlemen. We have two different methods of payment here. The first one, the regular one, is the one which we already know by using your credit card. You start adding your card information and your name, card number, expiration date, and you are good to go. We have another option here by using a voucher or promo code, which I'm sure most of you, they're gonna get such type of code or voucher just to complete the process. So if you are working based on a voucher, you can click on this link here, which is gonna take you to the next page, give you the option, gonna take you to the voucher code. You can add your code here and you can click apply. As soon as you click apply, ladies and gentlemen, you're done. You are good to go. You already purchased your exam and you're gonna get an email from Microsoft with the information about your scheduling for the exam. Moving next to exam day or before the exam day. As we went through the policy for the exam day, please make sure you have available valid government ID, unexpired ID with a photo. The government ID must have a signature and must have also a photo. And please make sure, as we cover before, your name on the registration must match your name within your profile. So you should use the same name. So please pay attention to such step. And as they're gonna ask you for such type of confirmation or authorization about your identity. Also, you should have your phone ready, as they're gonna ask you to take some photo about your exam area. Of course, there is no drink allowed. There is books, laptop, telephone, any type of material, pen, paper, any type of thing. You should have a layer space within your test environment, and you shouldn't have any noise. Also, you are not allowed to move from the camera, away from the camera during the exam. And as I told you before, also no one is allowed to enter the room. So please make sure you inform your family or your office colleague that you are doing exam, and no one should interrupt you. Moving next, starting with the exam day, as you're gonna start by logging to your dashboard, ladies and gentlemen. As we can see, this is your Microsoft certification dashboard on the exam day. And if you have any passing exam before, you're gonna find such type of congratulation on passing such type of exam. If not, you can go direct to your link here. This is a link which is gonna take you to your exam. And as we covered before, it would be a good idea if you start or if you log in 30 minutes before, so you can have access to perform whatever task they're gonna ask for. Before we move to the next section, let me stop here and let me start with the next demo. I would like to show you a demo or a live demo about scheduling your exam, and I'm gonna do that by going to Microsoft certification dashboard. Okay, let's move next and start with our demo to schedule our exam. We're gonna start by going to Microsoft certification. As you can see, we're gonna find different type of information about different type of exam. Let's try to log into your certification dashboard. Use your account to log in. If you don't have an account, please make sure you create a new account. As soon as you log in, we're gonna start with your dashboard. This is your dashboard, ladies and gentlemen. This is your MSID. Please make sure you have a copy of your MSID on the side. You have all the needed information. As we can see, this is a new account, which means I have no exam, I have no certification, I didn't do any exam. I'm just using this account here for a demo purpose. As we can see, also I have no appointment. And let's start going through scheduling your exam. I'm gonna click and schedule the next exam. As soon as we schedule, you can start typing your exam, MS 700, or you can go by going to Microsoft 365 and you can go through the exam. As we can see, this is the one which you are concerned about. Let's click on the link. This is your exam information, ladies and gentlemen. As we covered before, the exam was updated last month, so please make sure you download the skills measure document. You can download it by going under the skill measure here. You can click here and you can download the skill measure. Let me go through a quick overview here just to give an idea. If you plan to take online Microsoft Learn, as we covered before, you can start by going to learning paths here, different learning paths, different related certification. Or if you would like to go through instructor lead, you can start using the 4 days course managing Microsoft team, which we already spoke about. Let's go up again a little bit more. Let's start with the first step, defining your country. As we can see, this is my current country here, so change according to your country. And the next step, which click on schedule with person view. Now I'm start creating our schedule. The first step is by going through your profile. If you have your profile, it's okay. If not, you can edit your profile, making sure you have the right name, job title, the right address, everything is okay. Check on the accept the agreement and you can click continue. As we can click continue, take us to the exam discount. As we can see, there are no exam discount right now, but sometime you're gonna find exam discount. So if nothing here, we can start scheduling your exam by moving to the next page, which will take a couple of seconds. And we start, how would you like to take the exam? As we can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a different option here. Of course, this is the one which we are concerned about, so let me click on this one. This is a different testing area, different information. If you would like to use system test, you can start testing your system. Let me open in another one. This is just an example. This is your access code. This is one view. You can download it. As soon as you download it, it will start testing your system. It will give you the same information by testing your system. Let me exit this one and let me close this one and let me go back. After you finish testing your system, make sure your testing space, everything is fine. Make sure about all the information about photo ID. If you would like to read more, you can read more about space and the exam space. As we can see, you have a different option here. Whatever information you would like to go through, you can go through and start reading about. Let me exit this one, close this one, and go back to this main menu. And after you finish from your system test here, you can click next. And you can go through the online policy. I think that the font for you will be small to read it, so it will be a good idea. If you log into your account, start going through such type of policy here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you understand what type of form you need it. For example, we have different type of form here. Passport, driving license. If you are within US, you can have military ID or any type of identity card, or it can be registration card, like for example, permanent resident, a visa, or green card, which is used in US. Some of the ID is not accepted. Prepare for testing space. Make sure whatever testing space. Also, one of the point here which I didn't cover, you should only use one monitor. If you have a system, or if you are using a system with more than one monitor, please disconnect the second monitor. You should only use one monitor. Your disk should be clear, nothing on your disk. Here within the exam day, as we covered before, you should log in 30 minutes before. Rescheduling policy, cancellation policy. After you go through all these steps here, you can click agree. And of course, you give your read because you have to accept all the policy here. And you can click agree, which is gonna take us to the next page. Within the next page, we're gonna start selecting your proctor language. Of course, by default will be English. If you would like to change, you can change it. I'm gonna keep it as English. So we're gonna click next. And now we're gonna start scheduling your exam point. For example, you can pick whatever date in this month, or if you would like to have a future, for example, in September, you can pick this date. And as soon as you pick, you're gonna have two different options to display a time. Whatever time format you prefer to use, you can use this time. Let me use this one for example. As we can see, we have two different schedule here, morning schedule and afternoon schedule. Please make sure the difference between 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. Many common mistake within the exam scheduling can happen, so make sure you remember which one is it, a.m. or p.m. So you can schedule, for example, I'm gonna pick this date with this time here, and it takes me to the chart page. One of the first steps you have to do within this page, go through your information. The first information you should go through is, this is the right exam, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure this is the right exam here. Language, exam length is 120 minutes. Date, make sure this is the right date. And the check time and the start time. As we can see, there is a difference between the check time and the start time, 30 minutes. So it's giving you the option to 30 minutes. If you would like to change, or if you make a mistake within the appointment, you have the option to change this appointment. This is your total price here. If you remove it, or would you like to remove it or start all over again, you have the option to do that. Moving down here to available product. This is a different type of available product here. A different exam, like Microsoft Test exam from Microsoft Azure. This is for 30 days with the price of $99. You can have the option to edit your order. Another type of exam for MTA exam is also for 30 days, total cost of $75, which you can edit your information. This is just example confirming your information, confirming the language, confirming your telephone. This is my real name, but this is not my real phone. And after you make sure you have the right information, please make sure you have the right phone here, because sometimes they can contact you using the phone. You are ready to go. This is the total amount, included also tax, whatever tax you have to pay. So you can start click to check out. This is the last page here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the page if you would like to add your credit card, which means you have to pay it yourself, or maybe your company is paying for it. It's okay, but in this demo here, we are concerned about adding your voucher or promo code. You can start adding your promo code here, and you click apply. And as soon as you add your promotion code, ladies and gentlemen, you're already done. You finish, you schedule your exam, and you will get email from Microsoft about confirming the exam. After you finish from here, you can go back to Microsoft homepage. Of course, it's asking me here to confirm, to cancel, but in your case, whenever you start scheduling, you will not be able to schedule. So you're gonna find within, let me go for example, the different exam here if you would like to go through. And this is how to schedule your exam, and within your dashboard you're gonna find the exam schedule which you already scheduled. Let me go back to your dashboard just to show you something. As you finish scheduling your exam under appointment, just give it a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take long. You're gonna find your exam schedule under appointment section. You're gonna find on this side. This is how to schedule your exam. Whenever you finish your exam, you're gonna find any type of exam provider. If you got any certification, if you earn any certification, you're gonna find it here. Your transcript will be here, your badge. So anytime you log in your dashboard, you're gonna have the option to download such type of information. But the part which you are concerned about is the appointment part, because you're gonna find the appointment here which you already scheduled. So you can click on the link which is gonna take you to the exam, and they're gonna ask you a couple of questions. For example, they're gonna ask you to use a phone to get a copy of your government ID, also to ask you to take some photo of your test space, the test space itself, the right side, the left side, the back side. So make sure that your room is empty. And that was just a demo, ladies and gentlemen, about scheduling your exam. Please, if you have any question, please let us know. Let's move next within our session. Moving to the next section for MS practice test, starting with overview for the exam basic. If you never taken an associated exam before, or for example taken any type of MCP exam, you come to take this exam. There is about 40 to 60 questions in length, and some recommendation, as you can see here on the slide. Try to answer all the questions. There is no chance for guessing. Please make sure that it doesn't work such way. Some question may be discovered, cannot be skipped, and you can be on the spot. Just make sure that you go through the question, because you can click review the question, you can cycle through the question, but you have to come back and answer the question. Now those 40 to 60 question or 45 question, so it's different. We don't know exactly the range, but this is within the period of 150 minutes in order to be able to answer them within the time. Also, you're gonna have 30 minutes for all the instruction. You can go through the instruction, which can help you during or before the exam. You have such type of time for the instruction. For example, any extra time you can add it to the exam time. You can go through the information about the instruction, so it will be a good idea. Of course, we don't know the range exactly, but Microsoft's recommend passing rate for the exam is 700, which we can neatly say is between 75%, between 70 and 75%, which means you need to answer between 75 to 80% of the question within the exam. Moving to the next section about the exam question go behind multiple choice. We have different type of exam. Starting with multiple choice, for example, a question you need to go through, for example, like building list, hot area, drag and drop question, and we're gonna see this question within the exam demo. Also, there are Microsoft article which can explain all the different type. If you are interested to know more about, if you Google, you're gonna find such type of information about the exam question. And at the end, the last section about the case study, you will be expected to go through this case study, which take you to a real world scenario where you have a paragraph on some information with a table, dedicated information about real world scenario, how to implement Microsoft Team, and define business technical requirement and business also requirement, and all this information gonna ask you some type of question which you need to answer the question based on your case study. And the case study is a very common type of question which you need to answer. So this is just idea about the different exam basic information before. Moving to the next slide about your practice test key. As we can see, this is the exam website where you're gonna need to create an account on sign in, and we're gonna start using your practice test key, which you're gonna get it within the email. If you have an account, it will be okay. If not, you need to create an account, and we're gonna go through this step. Let's move to the next slide. This is just an example. If you have an account, if you are a registered customer, you can log in. If not, you have the option to create an account. Creating an account doesn't take long. And this is just an example. As you create an account by going to this link, you're gonna have under your account my learning locker, and this is the place where we're gonna need to start getting access to your practice. But before getting access to your practice, you need to use your register key. We're gonna have a demo about that. We're gonna have a live demo about that. This is your register key. You need to add your register key. As soon as you add your register key, this is just example for adding, accepting the license, and click register. I'm gonna give you a list. You can type here. As soon as you type your exam number here, as we can see in our case, MS 700, as soon you're gonna see this menu here, you can click begin a test to start using the test. This is just example for searching the exam after using your register key. So we are good now to go. We already registered our exam. We use the key and we can move to the next step by starting our exam. One of the first steps whenever we start the exam, ladies and gentlemen, is exam mode. We have two different modes. The first mode is the practice mode, and this is the most common used mode at the beginning, especially for someone just to make sure to check your answer, read more. You're gonna find a nice link as we can see within our practicing after we finish within this slide here. Then the other mode about the certification mode, and certification mode, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly the same way as the exam. You will not be able to see the answer. You will not be able to see any help. Exactly a timing question. It must be timing. Here a little bit the timing can be open. You have the option to open the time. As we can see, I'm going to show it you within the coming demo. So this is the practice mode. Mostly it would be a good idea to start with the practice 2, 3, 4 times, depending how long gonna take you. Please keep in mind this access to this exam practice is only valid for 30 days. Moving next to a test option. As we can see, we have a test option here. We have different custom duration for the test option. We have the option to randomize the question of the test, and after you click whatever option you have, you can click continue. Moving to the next slide is about advanced option on selecting object. By going through advanced option, this is just an example for the advanced option. We have different type of advanced option. Please make sure you go through this option here and pick whatever you want. For example, only show, if you would like to show only a special type of question, you can show it from here. If you would like to use different options to specify whatever requested answer, you can go through here. So please make sure you go through this advanced option. Moving next to different test information. As we can see, it's giving you a different type of information. Please make sure also you review this test information. What type of key you can use it, for example, if you would like to have a full screen, or if you would like to exit the full screen by using the escape key. So different option here information. It would be good if you go through. Before we go through the walking and discussing, let's go through a demo about using the practice test and going through the practice test. As soon as you get your code, ladies and gentlemen, this is a website which you need to go through, and let's go through the step of signing in and starting with the practice exam. You can start signing in. If you don't have an account, you can create an account. As you can see, I'm signing into my account. I already have an account. This is your account page here. If you would like to change any information about your account, if not, you can start going through the learning locker. This is your learning locker, ladies and gentlemen. This is the main dashboard which you need to go through. As we can see, we have a different option. The first option here is using your register key. As soon as we cover before, using or register within your code or your key, you're gonna have access to your exam. As you can see, I have my exam, which defined as an active here, and we can, if we click on the exam, we can begin the testing exam. Let's go through a step here. It can be that you have a different exam, but please pay attention about the expiration date. If you click here, you're gonna find more information about the exam. As we can see, this is the register date, and this is valid until, as we can see, mostly is 1 month validation. This is just an example for the key, and this is already expired also for the MS 700. So let me start by going through the exam. Let's go through the exam by clicking on resume test, and I'm starting the resume test page. We'll start by going through the test information. As we can see, the test has 40 questions, 0 case study, some type of information. It will be a good idea if you make sure you go through such type of information. After you finish, you can click next. This is the test interface. This is how you use the interface. As we can see, we have different control. So please go through this control here. If you would like to increase or decrease the font, if you would like to pause the exam, finish the test, reset the exam, exit from the exam. As we can see, we have different controls, so please make sure that you go through the definition so you don't waste any time for searching for any type of control. Moving next to question list and test final report. This is just example for controlling. How would you like to control within the question? As soon as you finish from this page here, you are ready to start the test. As soon as you click resume test, we're gonna start with some of the question within the test. Let me stop here for a couple of minutes. If anyone have a question, please let me know. Okay, let's start our trip with the exam practice by going through select the mode, as we cover the different type of mode. So we're gonna go through the practice mode. This is a different option. You can set your question here. For example, if you would like to have 40 questions, if you would like to custom the duration, if you would like to randomize the question order of your test, for example, I have the option to remove that. You have the option to configure. So whatever your need is, you can configure, then you can click continue. This is just an example for different settings. Please make sure you go through the advanced option. We have the option to go back or to continue. As we can see, also allow change before scoring my test. That's okay. You can pick any type here. Let me ask for each answer. Let me check this option here so I can see each answer for each of the question we are going through. Click continue. And as we can see, I already gonna have 40 questions, and this is 80% of the exam to pass. I'm not configuring any timing, as going through next for the test information. Go through this test information, click next, test interface, different type of the interface, click next, and going through the question list and test final report. And now we can begin our test. Please bear in mind that for every question, and I'm gonna give you 1 minute time, so if we can share answering the question. Of course, if you have any question, please let us know. Let's start with beginning your test. I hope you can see. Let me try to maximize the screen so maybe it's better to see. So let's go through the question, and I'm gonna give you, as I told you, 1 minute to check the answer. Please make sure you go through the information within the question here. Let's please start with your first question. Thank you. As we can see, this is one type of question which you need to have the correct answer, so it's a very easy type of question. Within the common question, we're gonna have another type of question. Your 1 minute still running to go through answering the question. Make sure that you understand whatever requirement within the question. Let's go through the answer to the question. As we can see, we have different type of question. In this question is asking if you are using Skype for business team admin for your organization, and is giving you such type of organization. You need to migrate from Skype to Microsoft Teams, and is giving you different identity for user which you need to have full function of team. Please pay attention to this part here. Also, during this phase here, you need to make sure that all the user, including the pilot, are able to continue using the Skype, which means you need to have full functionality of team, and you still need to continue with the Skype. I'm just showing you different trick within the question, ladies and gentlemen. So please make sure that you understand. Let's go through the answer here. If you have any idea about the answer, would you like to share, you can share with us. This is just an example for the answer, and we're gonna use Skype for Business only as the organization default and the Iceland for pilot user only. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds just to go through the correct answer before we move to the explanation. Let's go through the explanation. As we can see from the explanation here, we should not use the team only for pilot user and Skype for Business only as the organization default, and this is why the reason. I hope you can read the explanation. Please keep in mind, if you don't understand about upgrading and so you have a very nice link here reference, which such type of link here, ladies and gentlemen, will give you a very nice information about understanding Microsoft Teams and Skype for Business option, getting started with Microsoft Teams upgrade. So it will be a good idea if you go through this team information. This is a very nice page. All the information you needed to get started with upgrade. So if you didn't understand the question, if you didn't have the right answer, or if you have the right answer also, ladies and gentlemen, it would be a good idea if you go through such type of information, which can give you indication about the upgrade planning to Microsoft Teams. Of course, on the left toolbar, you're gonna find more information. Let me close this page here. Let me go back to the exam mode. Let me maximize the page so you can have a better view. And that was our first question. Let's move to the second question. As we can see, ladies and gentlemen, within the second question, we have another type of question. With such a type of question, ladies and gentlemen, also you have to pay attention to the detail, but we have more than one answer. Please keep in mind, for every right answer, you're gonna have 1 point, which means we can say this is 4 in 1. 4 answer in 1 question. So let's please go through this question here, and let me pick the first correct option here. And you can have 1 minute to go through. This is the first option here. Let me move to the second option. Download team will be true or false. As we can see, this is just an example for a PowerShell command, ladies and gentlemen. As we covered before, it would be a good idea if we understand a little bit about PowerShell command. Moving to the third option. Moving to the next option, or the last option. Please keep in mind you have to pay attention to every given information here. Every given information here. Let's go through the answer. And this is just example for the answer of the question. As we can see, we're using the set command, for example, here. Why we're using such type of set command? Because the set command is used to change the setting. Whatever type of download. Let's go through the explanation just to get an idea about it. I'm gonna give you some time to go through the explanation. As we can see, is giving indication why we should use the set csteam upgrade configuration command first, as this command is used to change setting. Also, why we're using this command here, as we can use this as a global policy to meet the requirement to allow the user to use both apps. I'm using both apps in an isolated environment. If you are not sure, ladies and gentlemen, about understanding a little bit, you're gonna find a very nice reference here. Please make sure that you go through this reference here just to understand a little bit about PowerShell. PowerShell is not really difficult. I know everyone is preferred to use a desktop option, but understanding PowerShell and practicing a little bit in PowerShell is a very good idea. As we can see, we have a set and get and grant in case you would like to use a policy. And that was the second question here we went through. Let's move to the next question. Let's move to another type of question. As we can see, this is another type of question. This is drag and drop question which we need to answer. As we can see, this is the answer which we need to drag and drop. Let me give you the 1 minute time for going through the question first, and after that we're gonna go through the answer. You have your 1 minute, please. As we can see within the question here, we have 3 different stages, and also within the answer we have 3 different stages. So please make sure you go through each stage. Please pay attention also the given information within stage 1. Let me just give you a hint. So for example, within stage 1, it's giving you a hint that Microsoft Teams should be available for collaboration future only. Collaboration future only. In stage 2 is asking for meeting and collaboration. In stage 3, all call and communication and meeting should be in team only. So this is the given information. Let's scroll down to whatever information for drag and drop. According to the given information, within stage 1, we can use Skype for business with team collaboration. According to information within stage 2, Skype for business with team collaboration and meeting. And I'm just waiting for stage 3. Let me give you a hint about stage 3. All call, communication and meeting should be in team only. So the answer for stage 3 will be team only. This is my answer. Let's check my answer, ladies and gentlemen. This is the third question. Let's click on show answer. As we can see, this is the right answer. Let me give you some time by going through the explanation. I hope you can go through the explanation, as we can have a very nice link also if you would like to understand more. As we can see within the explanation, for stage 1, also for stage 2, we should use Skype for business with team collaboration and meeting. This is the mode which team collaboration Voucher is looking for. And in stage 3 is looking only for teams. As we can see, this is the third type of question we can have within the exam. This is question number 3. Let's move to the next question. Let me give you the 1 minute. Let's go through the question first and the answer. It's giving us some hint here within the question that you are using enterprise voice on-prem, and it's giving us also information about what the company is looking for. This is the same type we used before at the beginning of the test. You need to have one correct answer. Please keep in mind that it's telling you the company wants to start using Microsoft Teams, which means it's telling you this is something will apply to your entire organization. This is something will apply to your entire organization. Let's go through the answer. As we can see the answer here, all users use organization-wide setting. As this option is the only option will give us the priority to be able to set your mode for all the users within your organization setting. And this is the recommendation approach. Let's go through the explanation. I'm gonna give you also a minute to just go through the explanation, and if it's not clear or if you have any question, please let us know. And you can have also a nice link here if you would like to understand more. You can go through. I hope we understand this here approach, ladies and gentlemen. It would be a good idea if you spend some time with every question, and it's also good to go through this link here. Let's go through the next question. And let's see the different option. As we can see, this is a PowerShell command. By going through the question, ladies and gentlemen, it's telling you some type of information. You have on-prem enterprise voice. Your company wants to start using team meeting repeatedly as possible. You plan to use your meeting first, enable user to create a meeting. And this is the experience which you are getting from going through the exam question. Of course, we are going a little bit slow here, but in the exam, you don't have such time. So you have to learn speeding up your reading skills. Let's take the Grand Team Upgrade Policy option. Let's take this one as an option. Let's check our answer and go through the explanation. This is just example for the command, and this is a PowerShell command on the set is a default, which can be used within Skype for business only mode. Let's go through the explanation. I'm gonna give you some time. As we can see also for the reference, we have some time here. Different link here, which define different type of policy configuration and command. Keep in mind why we didn't use upgrade to team command. Why? Because this command is configured for team only mode, ladies and gentlemen. So it will be good that you go through the PowerShell command. I know most of you, they prefer to use a desktop interface and using the mouse, but still it will be a good idea to understand how the command. And as you can see at the bottom here, we have a very nice reference link. Let's move to the next question. Same type of question, is a very easy question. Please pay attention that you are giving some information that you have a company which is planning to upgrade from Skype Business Online to Microsoft Teams, but there are some of requirement which the company is looking for. Please make sure that you go through this requirement here. Let me give you the 1 minute just to be able to collect the correct answer. As we can see, this is a very easy question, ladies and gentlemen. You can start your 1 minute. You can see Skype for Business with Team Collaboration mode, Skype for Business Only mode, Skype for Business Collaboration and Meeting mode. And the last option is Iceland mode. What do you think is gonna be your answer here? Please keep in mind we are here to make a mistake, ladies and gentlemen, and it's giving you some requirement here. Let's go through the answer, which will be Iceland mode. Why did we pick the Iceland mode? Let's go together for the explanation mode. We should configure this mode. Why? Why did we pick this mode? Because this mode enables the user to run Team alongside with a Skype for Business as a two separate solution. And this is the point, as we can see within the first point here, as a two separate solution. And this is why did we pick this option here. Each client application run as a separate one with no communication between the two. And this is why did we pick this mode. Let me show you the question again one more time, just to make sure that we understand. Let me scroll down for the explanation. I hope this explanation was good enough to explain why did we use this option. And we have two different links here to understand more about Microsoft Teams and Skype. As we can see, we have many questions so far, ladies and gentlemen, about upgrading process. Let's move to another question and see what type of question we're gonna have next. As we can see, it's the same type of question. And let's start counting your 1 minute to go through the question and answer. As we can see, it's giving us some type of requirement here to configure Skype for Business. We're going to use, for example, instant messaging and calling only. Allow chatting communication between Skype for Business on Team. Using Team for scheduling only. And please keep in mind, we need to configure for each user within the sales department. Let's go through the answer. Let's go through the explanation. As we can see within the explanation, it's telling us why we should run this command. As we can see, we have two different grunt commands here, ladies and gentlemen, and it's telling us we can't run this following command, but this is the one which we should run. Why we are not using a command? Because here we're going to use it as a separate solution. And this is not what they asked for. And as we can see, we have different reference here. Please keep in mind, by going through this link will increase your understanding, your skills about the upgrade process, understanding more about using both modes together. As Microsoft doesn't support Skype for Business Online anymore, the support was ended last month, but still some company, they didn't upgrade to Microsoft Team yet. Please, if you have any question, please let us know. Let's move to the next question. Let's see what type of question. As we can see, we have another type of question which you need to answer yes or no. And this is 3-in-1 question, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take your 1 minute to go through the question and define which statement is true or false, or yes or no. Let's go through the first statement together. Within the first statement is asking if user will receive BSTN call in a Skype for Business. What do you think, yes or no? What do you think, yes or no? According to the question here, Skype for Business installation to Microsoft Teams. You have already set a hyper connectivity with Office Tenant. We can select yes. Let's move to the second question. User can take advantage of team meeting capability. What do you think, yes or no? As we can see, the company is planning to upgrade to Teams, so would be able to use the team meeting capability. Let's say yes. Moving to the third statement, Skype for Business chatting can be routed to Microsoft Teams or to Skype for Business client only. What do you think, yes or no? The answer will be no. Let's check our answer. As we can see, yes, yes, no. I hope that the statement is clear. Let's move down to the explanation. As we can see, we have a different link here. Let me go through up again just to make sure that we understand the given information and the different statement and why did we use yes or no. Let's take the first part as example. As we know, the BSTN call can be received in a Skype for Business. Yes. An enterprise voice client is a support for Skype for Business, but not for Teams. Incoming chatting or VoIP calls from a user in your organization are also received in a Skype of Business. This is why did we pick yes. As you can see, we have a very nice link here also, just to understand more about mode and different mode. Let's move to the next question. Please, if you have any question, please let us know. Moving to the next question to choose the correct answer, we're moving to another category, especially with network setting and bandwidth within your environment. Let's please go through this question here, and you're gonna have your 1 minute to go through the question and answer. And this, as we can see, is a very easy question, and this is the same type of question we went through before. Let's please go through the question. As we can see, within the question here is giving us some type of bandwidth requirement here that we're gonna use peer-to-peer video calling. At the same time, it's giving you some type of resolution of high definition requirement. So the question is, which is bandwidth requirement you will go through. Of course, such type of question, you need to go through understanding about the upstreaming, downstreaming bandwidth requirement using different type of high definition quality video. As we can see, we have different bandwidth here. Let's go through the answer. As we can see, the answer is 1.2. Let's go through the explanation. As we can see, the explanation is very clear that whenever we are using peer-to-peer quality video, we can use such type of bandwidth. But in case you are using group video, you're gonna need more bandwidth. And by going to this, preparing for this link here, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna find more information about the network setting for Microsoft Teams. As we can see, is included all the information needed, which protocol, priority, and port, and a very nice list about the setting for your network. Here we can see whatever recommendation for your bandwidth requirement. So what I'm trying to say here, if you couldn't answer the question, or if you are not good enough to understand the different type of network setting, it will be a good idea to go through the link. As we can see, we have rich information within this page here. You can move from one topic to another. Let's go back to our slide. Let me maximize again. And that will be the answer 1.2 within this question. Let's move to our next question. Also, this type of question is choose the correct answer. And as we can see, it's also easy question, so let me give you the 1 minute to go through the question and answer. Of course, to be able to answer such type of question, we have to understand such type of terminology, what we mean by call quality dashboard, what we mean by CDN, content delivery network, and cloud video interrupt, CVI, or video encoder. As we can see from the given information, that they would like to have team live event for a large group of users. A group will typically execute 6,000 as we have a large participant. And you would like to minimize the internet bandwidth requirement for live streaming, which means I don't want to have a center location for my live streaming. So the only option we can go through here is enterprise content delivery network. Let's go through the answer. This is just an example for the answer, and let's go through the explanation just to make sure we understand why did we use CDN or enterprise CDN. As we can see, by included the CDN solution, you have the option to optimize your bandwidth. And this is the main point for our answer, to optimize the bandwidth whenever we're using live streaming event. I hope this question was clear. At the same time, we have a very nice link here. Please make sure you spend some time. It doesn't matter how long, but just spend some time practicing and going through the link. Let's move to the next question, which, as we can see, is a very short one, easy one. As we can see from the answer of this question, that we have different tools, and we should understand what each tools can do for us. For example, Advisor for Teams can help you defining what is the requirement for running Microsoft Teams within your environment. Then we have another tools, which is a network assessment tools. We can say this is a new tool, they all old tools, ladies and gentlemen, and it would be a good idea if you go through these tools. How you can plan for your network. This is also very nice and common use tools. As we can see, we are concerned about network performance and configuration. So which tools should we use? And also we have network monitoring tools. Let's go through, show the answer. The answer will be network assessment tools. As we are talking about performance, we should use the network assessment tools because it is a tools which can be used for testing. Let's go through the explanation, and we have a very nice reference. As we can see, I'm concerned about the link because the link will give you a very nice idea about the topic. Let's go through the explanation before we move to the next question. It would be a good idea if you have a subscription and you start testing such tools, like network assessment tools, going through network planner and test the network planner. And if you have experience with network, of course, we should go through network monitor just to give you an idea. As we can see, why we didn't use network planner, network monitor, or advisor for team. That was our answer for this question. Let's move to the next question. As we can see, another type of question which we already used before. Let me give you enough time to go through the correct option. This is the different role here. Let's move to the second option about the tools. As we can see, we have a different tools here. Let's start by going through defining the first role. As we can see, we have different role here. And mostly we are concerned about communication role. Why? Because it's giving us support audio conference, video conference, and screen sharing. Also going through the bandwidth requirement, and this is the main task which can be performed by team communication administrator. You are planning for Microsoft Teams, so let's go to the tools. Which tools can help us for planning for your Microsoft team? Which tools can be used within the team admin just to be able to plan for your solution is a network planner. I hope we all agree before we check our answer. Let's go through the answer. As we can see, this is a very easy question. Let's go through the explanation. It's a little bit long explanation, but I'm gonna give you the 1 minute to go through the explanation. Please also make sure that you understand the different role within Microsoft Team, like for example, global administrator role, team service administrator, team communication administrator, also communication engineer, and support engineer, and support technical. As each role have a specific task to perform. And the right answer, why did we pick administrator? Because the team communication support engineer or the team communication support specialist, they don't have enough permission to use network planner. Please keep this in mind. Also, we have another tools which we didn't speak about before, or maybe we didn't have in any other question, like call quality dashboard. Call quality dashboard is used specially to check whatever quality for your calling system. If you have any problem, any issues, you can track such type of problem or troubleshooting whatever issues you have by using call quality dashboard. And that's not our case within this question here. Let's move to the next question. And within this question, ladies and gentlemen, we have to choose the correct answer, but here we have the option to choose more than one answer. It can be 1, can be 2, it can be 3. But as we can see within the question here, which 2 actions should you perform? Let me give you the 1 minute to go through this question, and we're gonna have 2 answers for this question. As we can see, it's the same old question, choosing the correct answer, but this is a 2-in-1 question. Let's please start. You have your 1 minute time. As we can see within this question, Ayman is giving us a very nice information so we can understand the question, which is saying that the user experience a problem with the call quality. Also, there are delay with the team on calling on meeting. We need to improve the call quality. What do you think will be your answer? To troubleshoot and to improve. Okay, let me define something just to give you an idea maybe we didn't speak about. Whenever we have a network problem, bandwidth problem, most of the IT admins, they start defining that the problem should be within your network. But the recommendation of Microsoft that you should start to implement quality of service just to improve your bandwidth, just to decrease the delay within your network bandwidth. After configuring and implementing quality of service, if you still have the same problem, so now we can start going through the network problem. So the first answer will be quality of service. And what do we need more to improve the call quality? I think to increase the bandwidth. As we can see, adding a trust IPS for partner side for network topology will not help us to improve quality on bandwidth. Configuring the network side for internal location also will not be able to help us for that. Let's click show the answer. As we can see, this is the two right answer. Let's go through the explanation. A little bit long, so I'm gonna give you some time to read the explanation. As we can see, also I have a very nice link here as a reference. This is a very nice link just to give you an idea about understand quality of service in Microsoft Teams. Of course, if you go through the 4 days course, you're gonna go through this service, or if you're gonna start using in your own time Microsoft Learn, you're gonna have the option to go through all this information, especially configuring network setting. Please make sure you go through this link here, because this is one of the most important configuration and setting for your environment. And that was just another about network setting. Let's move to the next question. Which is the same question which we went through, using quality of service and using different network setting. Also, we need 2 actions to perform. Let's please go through this question. As we can see here, you're planning to start using quality of service within your organization, included different type of information. And as you can see within the answer here, one of the method to use to set the port, for example, range within the admin center. And to start applying all the quality of service setting, we have the option to use group policy application tags to apply the setting using team.exe. Let's go through show answer. As we can see, this is the to answer for this question. Let's go through the explanation. Please make sure that you understand as a team administrator for the exam purpose, just to understand how Microsoft Team work within your environment is using quality of service. Of course, if you are using everything online, it will be much easy. But if your company or organization is using on-prem environment, you're gonna need a lot of setting, a lot of configuration within your environment. One of the most common configuration is quality of service or implementing quality of service. Let's take a minute, ladies and gentlemen, just to go through this link here, because as we can see, this is a very needed one. By using quality of service, we have different type of setting. This is how can we use on-prem network connected to online network. So this is just example going through implementation checklist, different type of checklist which you need to go through. And this is the point which I would like to show you, just to make sure that you understand quality of service. The point of using quality of service is to dedicate your bandwidth, to identify your bandwidth. For example, as we can see, quality of service can identify your audio traffic, can identify in a separate isolation path your video traffic. And the third type of traffic will be for regular traffic, which every user within your environment is using, like a web, browsing, file transfer, email. It will be another dedicated bandwidth path. If we compare between the different type of traffic here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main job of quality of service. The most important part is the audio. Think about telephone. Because if you have a delay in a video, nothing will happen. Still, you're gonna watch the video. But if you have a phone call and you have a delay, I will not be able to understand you and you will not be able to understand. And this is exactly what quality of service is doing. It's giving more priority for each type of traffic. Starting with the audio traffic, moving down to the video traffic. So it would be a good idea to go through this practice, and this is your media type configuration. This is what you should configure in case you would like to configure your firewall. I'm sure you went through. I just wanted to refresh everything before we move to the next question. Next question is also a very easy question, which you need to have two options or two tools to get the correct answer. As we can see, you need to calculate the bandwidth requirement for Microsoft Team activity. Also, calculating your bandwidth included the new Office. So starting with calculating the bandwidth requirement and the configuration for Microsoft Team, the most common used two tools is your network planner and advisor for team. As we covered before, this is used for call quality, call analysis, planner, different planner. So we are concerned about network planner and the advisor for team. Let's click show answer just to make sure this is the correct answer. Let's go through the explanation, and I'm gonna give you 1 minute for the explanation to go through. As you can see, also we have a very nice link. It would be a good idea to understand network planner and the advisor, and you're gonna have some lab within the course or Microsoft Learning for using POS tools, just to understand how we can use POS tools and what is the difference between POS tools. Also, information about call analysis is used to verify performance of a single call. And when we have a single call, you have to ask to check maybe the user profile. There is a problem with the user profile. If the complaint only for one user, if the complaint for multiple users, it can be the network issues. And that was our question and the answer for our question. Let's move to our last question before we go back to our slide, as we are coming to end of our session. As we can see, this is a very easy, a very good question. As we can see, this question is talking about different email address you need to configure, and we have different options within Azure Active Directory. Please keep in mind, you need to learn more about Azure Active Directory, because from Azure Active Directory you can manage, or we need to manage, any type of service, not only Microsoft Teams, any other service, can be SharePoint, can be Exchange, any other service within Microsoft 365. As we have a requirement to email address, so the question is going through the policy needed. Let's go through the answer for this question, and the answer will be group naming policy within Microsoft Azure. Group naming policy. Keep in mind, group naming policy is a type of policy which restricts how the user can rename the group or create a new group name. Let's go through the explanation. Please make sure that we understand the different policy which can be used within Microsoft Teams. Also within Microsoft 365, we're gonna have different type of policy, security policy, data management policy, different type of policy. So it will be a good idea to understand the policy used within Microsoft Teams. One of the policies is group naming policy. It's very helpful policy. As we can see within the explanation, that every time we need to set the group naming policy, we have to use Azure Active Directory under a group, and you're gonna have the option to set the policy for the group. Also, we have very nice explanation here that you should not set a blocked word policy in Microsoft Azure, blocked word policy as a subsection of the naming setting. Also, you should not alter the group setting within Microsoft Azure. There are no settings for such control of your group name. I will stop within our session today with this couple of questions we went through. That was just a quick idea, ladies and gentlemen. You can start now going through different type of question, practicing more. Please keep in mind you have 30-day access only to this exam. Let's go back to our presentation and starting with one of the main exam object, which is plan and configuring a Microsoft Team environment. As we covered before, within the plan and configuring a Microsoft Team environment, we're going to have different type of information about Microsoft Team, Team Architect, and different setting for Microsoft Team. So please, if you have any question, let us know. Moving next to another exam object like manage chatting, calling, and meeting. Within chatting, calling, and meeting, we're gonna have different option how to configure chat. Also, we're gonna go through applying policy to the chatting, policy to the calling, and meeting. Different type of feature within managing chatting and calling and meeting. The next exam objective is managing your team and application policy. Within managing team and application policy, as we have the option to add or to integrate different type of application within our environment, ladies and gentlemen, how can we manage such type of application? Which application will be the business user allowed to integrate it within Microsoft Team? Which application they will not be allowed to download? Of course, whenever we are talking about application, it can be a Microsoft apps or it can be a third-party app. It doesn't make any different. Moving next to your resource. This is a very nice resource. Please, you have all the participants, they're gonna receive a mail from Microsoft. It can be 1 week after the course. Within this email, you're gonna have 3 key resources. This key resource, ladies and gentlemen, will help you to prepare for your certification exam. The first key resource is about your digital mock access. This is your courseware. This is included the ebook about the course. It will be a good idea to read about it. Go through the mock, and within the mock you're gonna have the lab. After you finish the mock, and it will be a good idea to have such type of practicing on the system or having hands-on within your environment. Also moving to the next resource, which is a practice test code. This is the code which you're gonna get and you're gonna go through downloading your test exam. It will be a good idea if you start using your practice code after you finish from ebook. Moving to the third resource, which is your exam voucher. As soon as you get your exam voucher, you can start using your exam voucher and scheduling your exam the same way we went through. And that was the 3 key resource just to help you prepare for your certification exam. Moving next, this is the mock. Activate the mock, start going through reading the book, and if you have a test environment or an environment where you should practice, it will be a good idea to have more hands-on. Moving down to your test codes, you're gonna get your test code and it will be unlimited online practice for 30 days. Then moving down to schedule your online exam. Please keep in mind also that this content, you can download this link. You're gonna have this link within your email. And as we are coming to the end of our session, if anyone have a question, please let me know. And you can ask whatever question about the exam, about the practice test, about any technical topic. The last step or the next step within your practice for your exam, you can schedule the exam from this link. You can go through study group, and this is the Microsoft document where you can download a lot of document about Microsoft Team or about any other type of service, just to help you practicing more about exam. As this was the last slide for us, I would like to thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the session. Wishing you the best within your exam, within your practicing test, moving from one step to another step. Good luck and keep going. As you finish from one exam, you're going to move to another exam. Wishing you all the best. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.